I was sitting in the visiting room of Sunrise Memory Care in Phoenix, Arizona, on a Tuesday afternoon in September 2024, waiting to see my mother for the first time in 6 months. My brother Derek had been sending me updates, photos, videos, all showing the same thing: mom deteriorating rapidly, Alzheimer's advanced stage, didn't recognize anyone, couldn't remember basic things. "It's better if you don't visit," Derek had said over the phone in March. "It upsets her, confuses her. The doctors say consistency is important. I'm here every day. I've got it handled." So I'd stayed away. 300 miles away in San Diego, trusting my older brother, believing he had mom's best interests at heart. But something had been nagging at me. Something about Derek's stories didn't add up. Mom was 68 years old, healthy, active, had been a teacher for 40 years, sharp as a tack when I'd last seen her at Christmas 2023. Then, in February 2024, Derek called with the diagnosis: Alzheimer's, early onset, progressing rapidly. By March, she was in memory care. By April, Derek had power of attorney and conservatorship. By May, mom's house was sold. By June, her bank accounts were under Derek's control. Everything happened so fast, too fast. So today, despite Derek's protests, I drove to Phoenix, showed up unannounced, demanded to see my mother. The receptionist tried to stop me. "Your brother left specific instructions, no visitors without his approval." "I'm her daughter. You can't keep me from seeing her." She made a phone call, whispered, looked uncomfortable. "Fine, but only 30 minutes, and if she gets agitated, you'll need to leave." They brought mom to the visiting room, small space, uncomfortable chairs. Smelled like disinfectant and sadness. Mom shuffled in, aided by a nurse. She looked wrong, thin, pale, moving slowly, eyes unfocused. "Mom," she looked up at me, blinked, and for a second her eyes were completely blank. My heart sank. Derek was right, she didn't recognize me. The nurse settled mom into a chair across from me. "I'll be right outside, call if you need anything." I sat there, looking at my mother, tears in my eyes. "Mom, it's me, Rebecca, your daughter." Mom stared at me, silent. Then something changed. Her eyes focused, really focused. She leaned forward slightly and whispered so quietly I almost didn't hear it, "Becca, thank God. He's been drugging me." I froze. "What?" "Derek, your brother, he's been giving me pills, making me foggy, making me seem confused. I don't have Alzheimer's, I'm fine, you have to help me." Her voice was clear, lucid, completely coherent. "Mom, what are you talking about?" Derek said. "Derek is stealing from me. He put me in here so he could take my money, sell my house. He's drugging me to make everyone think I'm incompetent. Please. You have to get me out of here." I looked at my mother, at her clear, desperate eyes, at her trembling hands reaching for mine, and I knew she was telling the truth. Before I tell you how I discovered the depth of my brother's betrayal, how I gathered evidence, and how I fought to save my mother from being drugged into oblivion, please like this video and let me know in the comments where you're listening from. My name is Rebecca Ann Bennett. I'm 33 years old, and I need to tell you about the worst year of my life. I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. My mom, Catherine Bennett, was a high school English teacher. My dad, Michael Bennett, was a mechanic. We were solidly middle class. Happy, normal. My brother Derek is 6 years older than me. 39, we were never close. Different personalities, different values. Derek was always focused on money, status, success. He went into finance, moved to Phoenix after college, worked his way up to senior financial advisor at a wealth management firm. I went into social work, specifically child protective services. I made $42,000 a year helping kids in crisis. Derek made over $200,000 managing rich people's money. He thought my job was beneath me. "You're wasting your education, Becca. You could be making real money." "I'm making a difference, that's worth more than money." He never understood that. Our dad died in 2019, heart attack. Sudden, devastating. Mom took it hard. They'd been married for 41 years. High school sweethearts, soul mates. For about a year, mom struggled, depression, grief, but slowly she healed. By 2020, she was doing better, retired from teaching, started volunteering, joined a book club, made new friends. She sold the house she and dad had shared. Too many memories. Too much space for one person. Bought a smaller townhouse in a nice Phoenix neighborhood. 2 bedrooms, modern, perfect for her. Mom had money, not rich, but comfortable. Dad's life insurance. Her teacher's pension, Social Security, the sale of their house. About $800,000 total in savings and investments. I'm set for life, she told me. I can travel, enjoy retirement, help you kids if you need it. Derek immediately started managing mom's finances. I'm a professional, I'll make sure your money grows, you'll never have to worry. Mom trusted him, he was her son, a financial expert. Why wouldn't she trust him? I lived in San Diego, 300 miles away. I visited mom every few months, called her weekly. We were close. In 2023, everything seemed fine. Mom was happy, healthy, active, traveled to Europe with her book club, took painting classes, volunteered at the library. At Christmas 2023, I spent a week with mom in Phoenix. She was sharp, funny, told stories about her teaching days, remembered every detail. How's your love life, Becca? Non-existent. I'm married to my job. You work too hard, you need to find someone. Settle down, says the woman who joined 3 book clubs and a hiking group in the past year. She laughed. I'm living my best life, you should too. That was the last normal conversation I had with my mother. In January 2024, Derek started calling me more often. Mom's been forgetting things, asked me the same question 3 times yesterday. She's 68, everyone forgets things. It's more than that. She got lost driving to the grocery store last week, a store she's been going to for 20 years. Did you take her to a doctor? I'm setting up an appointment, but I'm worried, Becca. This could be serious. In February, Derek called with the news. Mom has Alzheimer's, early onset. The neurologist confirmed it. She did cognitive tests, brain scans. Everything points to early-stage Alzheimer's disease. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. That can't be right, she was fine at Christmas. It progresses fast sometimes. The doctor said she probably had mild symptoms for months. We just didn't notice. What's the treatment? What do we do? There's no cure, just medications to slow progression, but she's going to need care. Soon. I'll come to Phoenix, help with whatever she needs. Not yet, let me get everything set up first. I'm looking into care facilities. Making sure she has the best doctors. Derek, I want to be involved. You live 3 hours away, you have a full-time job. I'm here, I've got this handled, trust me. I did trust him, he was my brother, mom's son. Of course he'd take care of her. In March 2024, Derek called again. I had to move mom into memory care. She tried to drive yesterday and got completely lost. Ended up 20 miles from home. Police found her. It's not safe for her to live alone anymore. Memory care already, isn't that for advanced cases? Her decline has been rapid. The doctors recommended it. She needs 24-hour supervision. What facility? Sunrise Memory Care. Nice place, expensive but worth it. She'll be safe there. I want to visit her. Not right now, she's adjusting. The transition has been hard. Doctors say new people, new situations confuse her more. Give her a few weeks to settle in. Derek, she's my mother. And she's my mother too. I'm doing what's best for her, just trust me. I backed off. Derek was stressed, dealing with mom's care, making hard decisions. I'd visit soon. Once mom settled in April, Derek called with more news. I got power of attorney and conservatorship, legal control over mom's finances and medical decisions. The court approved it. Given her condition, it was necessary. That seems extreme. Becca, she can't manage her own affairs. She tried to write a check last week and forgot how. She can't remember her PIN number. She needs someone to handle things. Shouldn't we both be on the power of attorney? You live in San Diego. You're not here to make day-to-day decisions. I am. It makes sense for me to handle it. Something felt off. But I didn't know enough about legal stuff to argue. Fine, but I want regular updates about her health, her finances, everything. Of course, we're family. In May, Derek told me he'd sold mom's townhouse. What? Why? She's never going home, Becca. The Alzheimer's is progressive. She'll need care for the rest of her life. The townhouse was just sitting empty. I sold it and put the money in her estate to pay for her care. How much did it sell for? $320,000. Good price. The memory care facility costs $8,000 a month. The sale will help cover costs. $8,000 a month, $96,000 a year. Mom's savings would be gone in less than 10 years. That seems expensive. Quality care costs money. Mom deserves the best. I couldn't argue with that. In June, I asked Derek for financial statements. I want to see mom's accounts, make sure everything's being managed properly. Are you questioning my competence? No. I just want to understand the situation. I'm a financial professional, Becca. I've been managing money for 15 years. Mom's estate is fine. Then you won't mind showing me the statements. He sent me something, bare bones. Summary of accounts, no details, no transaction history. When I asked for more, he got defensive. I'm handling everything. You need to trust me. I'm not stealing from Mom if that's what you're implying. I'm not implying anything. Yes, you are. You've always thought I was greedy, money obsessed, but I'm the one here, taking care of Mom, dealing with everything, while you're in San Diego living your life. That hurt, because part of me felt guilty. I wasn't there, I wasn't helping. Maybe I was being paranoid, suspicious for no reason, so I dropped it. But the nagging feeling didn't go away. In July, I asked to visit Mom again. Not a good time. She's having a bad week, very confused, agitated. The doctors adjusted her medications. She needs time to stabilize. In August, same story. She wouldn't recognize you right now, it would just upset her. By September, I'd had enough. I didn't call Derek, didn't ask permission. Just got in my car and drove to Phoenix. Showed up at Sunrise Memory Care, demanded to see my mother, and discovered the truth. When Mom whispered he's drugging me, everything clicked into place. The rapid decline, the convenient timing, Derek's insistence I stay away. Mom, what pills is he giving you? I don't know, blue ones, white ones. He brings them when he visits, says they're my Alzheimer's medication. But I don't have Alzheimer's, I'm fine, or I was fine, before he started drugging me. How long has this been going on? Since February. He started saying I was forgetting things, confused, but I wasn't. Then he brought me here. Started giving me pills. Now I can't think straight. I'm foggy all the time, except sometimes. Sometimes the fog clears like now, and I remember everything. Her voice was getting louder, desperate. SHH, Mom, stay calm. I believe you, but we need to be smart about this. You have to get me out of here. He sold my house. He has all my money. I'm trapped. The nurse knocked on the door. Everything okay in there? Fine, I called back, then quietly to Mom. When does Derek usually visit? Every few days. He brings the pills, makes me take them in front of him. What about the staff? Do they give you medication? Yes, but it's different, regular stuff, blood pressure medicine. The real pills I actually need. It's only Derek's pills that make me foggy. Do you have any of Derek's pills? Did you save any? I tried, but he watches me, makes sure I swallow. Damn. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to come back soon with a lawyer. We're going to get you out of here, but I need you to do something for me. Anything. When Derek visits, when you're feeling clear-headed, try to record him on your phone. Do you have your phone? No, Derek took it, said I kept losing it. Of course he did. Okay, then just remember everything he says, everything he does. Can you do that? Yes, I'm not crazy, Becca, I'm not sick. I just need help. I know, Mom, I'm going to help you, I promise. The nurse opened the door. Time's up, your mother needs to rest. I hugged Mom, felt how thin she'd gotten, how frail. I love you, Mom. I'll be back soon. Please hurry, she whispered. I don't know how much longer I can fight the fog. I left Sunrise Memory Care in a daze, sat in my car, tried to process. My brother was drugging our mother, faking Alzheimer's. Stealing her money, it was insane, criminal, evil, but I needed proof, evidence, not just Mom's word against Derek's. I drove back to San Diego that night, couldn't sleep, started researching, elder abuse, conservatorship fraud, medical malpractice, financial exploitation. It happened more often than people realized. Family members taking advantage, doctors colluding, facilities looking the other way. The next morning, I called a lawyer. Recommended by a colleague in Adult Protective Services. Natalie Chen, elder law specialist, Phoenix-based. I need help. I think my brother is drugging my mother and stealing her money. Tell me everything. I did, the timeline. The rapid decline, Derek's control, Mom's lucid accusation. This sounds like conservatorship abuse, Natalie said. Unfortunately, it's common. Once someone has legal control, it's hard to challenge. But if your mother is being medicated against her will to fake incompetence, that's fraud. That's criminal. What do I need to prove it? Medical evidence, financial records, testimony from your mother, ideally video or audio of her demonstrating competence, and proof of the medications she's being given. How do I get that? Carefully, if your brother suspects you're investigating, he'll cover his tracks. You need to be strategic. Tell me what to do. Natalie laid out a plan: visit mom regularly, document her lucid moments, request medical records, hire a private investigator to track Derek's finances, build a case. This won't be fast, we're talking months, maybe a year, but if we do this right, we can save your mother and put your brother in prison. Let's do it. Over the next week, I visited mom 3 more times. Always unannounced, always when Derek wasn't there. Each visit, mom was different, sometimes foggy, confused, barely recognizing me, other times crystal clear, lucid, desperate. He was here yesterday, made me take the pills. I tried to refuse. He told the nurse I was being combative. They held me down. My blood boiled. I started documenting, took notes after each visit, dates, times, mom's mental state, what she told me. I also started recording our conversations. On my phone, hidden in my purse. Mom, can you tell me what happened in February when Derek said you had Alzheimer's? I went to see a neurologist, Dr. Pearson. Derek scheduled it, said I'd been forgetting things. I hadn't, but I went anyway. What happened at the appointment? Dr. Pearson did some tests, asked me questions. What year is it? Who's the president? Count backwards from 100. I answered everything correctly, and he said I showed signs of mild cognitive impairment, recommended more tests, brain scans. I agreed, thought it was routine. Then what? Derek scheduled the brain scan, took me himself. Afterwards, Derek told me Dr. Pearson called with results, said I had early Alzheimer's, needed to start medication immediately. Did you talk to Dr. Pearson yourself? No, Derek said he'd handle everything. I trusted him. This was crucial. Mom never received a direct diagnosis from the doctor. Everything came through Derek. Mom, do you remember the name of the medication Derek said you needed? Donepezil, Aricept, something like that. For Alzheimer's? I wrote that down. Standard Alzheimer's medication. But if mom didn't have Alzheimer's, why would Derek give her that? Unless it was an Aricept. Unless Derek was lying about what pills he was giving her. I hired a private investigator, former police detective, specialized in financial fraud. I need you to follow my brother, see where he goes, who he meets with, and I need you to look into his finances. See if there's any unusual activity. What am I looking for? Large withdrawals, transfers from my mother's accounts to his, anything suspicious. The Pi Marcus Torres got to work. Within 2 weeks, he had information. Your brother's been making regular withdrawals from your mother's accounts. $20,000 a month, cash, since April. That's almost 6 months. That's over $100,000. Right, and here's the thing, the memory care facility. It doesn't cost $8,000 a month like your brother told you. What? I called them, pretended to be looking for a facility for my mother, got pricing information. The average cost is $4,000 a month for their standard care. He told me $8,000. He lied. He's pocketing the difference. And the $20,000 monthly withdrawals, those aren't going to care costs, those are going straight to him. I felt sick. What else? Your brother bought a new car in June, Tesla Model S, paid cash. $75,000. With mom's money. Can't prove it yet, but the timing lines up. This was good, damning, but not enough to break conservatorship. I need medical records. Can you get those? Not legally. You need to request them as next of kin, but your brother has power of attorney. He can block your access. Then I'll request them anyway. Make him block me. Create a paper trail. I submitted a formal request to Sunrise Memory Care and Dr. Pearson's office for my mother's medical records. Both denied me. Per conservator Derek Bennett's instructions, medical records are confidential. Perfect. I forwarded the denials to Natalie. This helps, shows he's hiding something. Keep pushing. I visited mom again. This time I brought something, a small recording device disguised as a pen. Mom, I need you to keep this, hide it. When Derek visits, if you're feeling lucid, press this button. It'll record audio. What if he finds it? Say it's from the facility for writing letters. Be creative. Mom took the pen, hid it in her nightstand. 2 days later, I got a call from mom's phone, Derek's voice. Mom, it's time for your medication. I don't want to take it. I don't need it. Dr. Pearson prescribed this. You have Alzheimer's. You need to take your medication. I don't have Alzheimer's. You're lying. Mom, please don't make this difficult. Just take the pills. No, I want to talk to Dr. Pearson myself. I want a second opinion. You already had a second opinion. Multiple doctors confirmed the diagnosis. Now take your medication or I'll have the nurse give it to you. You're drugging me, you're stealing from me. Mom, you're confused. Paranoid, that's the Alzheimer's talking. Please take the pills, you'll feel better. A pause, then Mom's defeated voice. Fine, good, open your mouth, let me see you swallow. The recording ended. I listened to it 3 times, heart pounding. Derek's voice was calm, manipulative, gaslighting Mom into thinking she was sick. And the proof, he was personally administering medication. Not a nurse, not a doctor, him. I sent the recording to Natalie. This is gold. This shows he's directly involved in her medication, and her protests show she's capable of understanding what's happening to her. We can use this. What's next? We need to know what drugs he's giving her. If we can prove he's sedating her to fake dementia, we can break the conservatorship and file criminal charges. How do we get that? Does your mother have any regular medical appointments, blood work, checkups? I don't know. Derek handles everything? Find out. If she has a scheduled appointment, we can request an independent drug screening, see what's in her system. I called Sunrise Memory Care, pretended to be updating emergency contact information. Can you tell me when Catherine Bennett's next doctor appointment is scheduled? Let me check. She has a routine checkup with Dr. Pearson on October 15th. 3 weeks away. Thank you, I told Natalie. Can we get a drug test done then? Not without a court order, but we can file a motion. Request an independent medical evaluation. Cite your concerns about her diagnosis and treatment. The court might grant it. Do it. Natalie filed the motion. Emergency request for independent medical evaluation of Catherine Bennett. Derek's lawyer responded immediately, objecting, claiming the request was baseless. Motivated by family conflict, that I was harassing my mother. The court scheduled a hearing for October 10th, 5 days before Mom's doctor appointment. October 10, 2024, Maricopa County Courthouse, Phoenix, Arizona. I sat next to Natalie in a small courtroom. Across from us, Derek and his lawyer. High-end attorney, expensive suit. Derek looked confident, relaxed. Like this was a minor inconvenience. The judge, a woman in her 60s named Judge Rivera, looked over the filings. Miss Chen, you're requesting an independent medical evaluation for Catherine Bennett. On what grounds? Natalie stood. Your Honor, my client has reason to believe her mother is being improperly medicated, that the Alzheimer's diagnosis may be inaccurate, and that the conservatorship may have been obtained under fraudulent pretenses. Derek's lawyer, Mitchell Crane, stood immediately. Your Honor, this is absurd. Mrs. Bennett was diagnosed by a qualified neurologist, Dr. Harold Pearson, a respected physician with 30 years' experience. The conservatorship was granted based on medical evidence and testimony. Miss Chen, what evidence do you have that the diagnosis is incorrect? We have recordings of Mrs. Bennett demonstrating clear cognitive function, expressing concerns about her medication, and we have financial irregularities that suggest the conservator may not be acting in her best interest. Judge Rivera looked interested. Financial irregularities? Yes, Your Honor. We believe Mr. Bennett has been misappropriating his mother's funds, using her estate for personal expenses. Derek leaned over to his lawyer, whispered something. Crane stood. Your Honor, Mr. Bennett is a licensed financial advisor. He's been managing his mother's estate responsibly. All expenditures are for her care and benefit. Then he won't mind providing detailed financial records, Natalie countered. The financial records are part of the conservatorship filings, available for court review. General summaries, Your Honor, not detailed transaction records. We're requesting full transparency. Judge Rivera nodded. I'll grant that. Mr. Crane, your client will provide detailed financial records within 10 days. All transactions from Mrs. Bennett's accounts since conservatorship was granted. Derek's face tightened. Good. Now, regarding the medical evaluation. Miss Chen, you claim Mrs. Bennett demonstrates cognitive function. Do you have this recorded? Yes, Your Honor. Natalie played one of my recordings, Mom's voice, clear, lucid. Becca, I don't have Alzheimer's. Derek is drugging me. He's been giving me pills that make me confused, foggy, but I'm not sick. Please help me. The courtroom went silent. Judge Rivera listened intently. When was this recorded? September 27th, 3 weeks ago. And you have other recordings? Yes, multiple visits where Mrs. Bennett demonstrates clear memory, cognition, and awareness. Crane jumped in. Your Honor, Alzheimer's patients often have moments of lucidity. This doesn't prove anything, and these recordings could have been made during a brief clear period. Or, Natalie countered, Mrs. Bennett doesn't have Alzheimer's at all, and the diagnosis was manufactured to justify the conservatorship. That's a serious accusation, Judge Rivera said, which is why we're requesting an independent evaluation by a neurologist of the court's choosing, with a full drug screening to determine what medications Mrs. Bennett has in her system. Judge Rivera considered. Mr. Crane, does your client object to an independent evaluation? Crane looked at Derek. Derek's face was carefully neutral. Your Honor, we believe it's unnecessary. Mrs. Bennett has been thoroughly evaluated. But if it will put this matter to rest, we don't object. However, we request the evaluation be done by Dr. Pearson, who is familiar with her case. No, Natalie said firmly. We request an independent physician, one with no prior relationship to either party. Judge Rivera nodded. Granted, I'm ordering an independent medical evaluation. Dr. Sarah Martinez, a neurologist with no connection to this case, will conduct the evaluation. It will include cognitive testing and a comprehensive drug screening. The evaluation will take place within 2 weeks. Your Honor, Crane protested, Mrs. Bennett is in memory care. Moving her, subjecting her to stressful testing could be detrimental. Dr. Martinez can conduct the evaluation at the facility if necessary. This court needs to ensure Mrs. Bennett's rights are being protected. Evaluation will proceed. Derek's jaw clenched. Additionally, Mr. Bennett, you will provide full financial records as requested. And Miss Bennett, Judge Rivera looked at me. You're granted visitation rights. Your brother cannot bar you from seeing your mother. Relief flooded through me. Court is adjourned. We'll reconvene after the medical evaluation. We left the courthouse. Derek and his lawyer headed straight to their car. Derek didn't even look at me. That went well, Natalie said. We got everything we asked for. Will the drug screening show what he's giving her? If he's been medicating her regularly, yes. Benzodiazepines, sedatives, antipsychotics, they'll all show up in her blood work. What if he stops giving her the drugs now? Before the evaluation? Then she'll test clean, but she'll also be lucid during the cognitive testing. Either way, we win. Smart. 2 days later, I visited Mom again. Derek wasn't there. I told her about the court order. Mom, you're getting an independent evaluation, a new doctor, they're going to do tests, a drug screening, you just need to be yourself, tell the truth. What if Derek gives me the pills before the appointment? He might not. Now that there's a court order, he knows they'll test for drugs, he'll probably stop to avoid getting caught. So I'll be clear, finally? Yes, and you'll ace the cognitive tests, prove you don't have Alzheimer's. And then we can get you out of here. Mom started crying. Thank you, Becca. I was starting to think I'd die in this place. You're not dying anywhere. We're going to fix this. Over the next week, I visited Mom every other day. Each time she was clearer, more alert. Derek had stopped giving her the pills. Just as Natalie predicted. October 22, 2024. Dr. Sarah Martinez arrived at Sunrise Memory Care to evaluate Mom. I was there. Natalie was there. Derek was there with his lawyer. Dr. Martinez was professional. Mid-40s, no-nonsense demeanor. I'll be conducting a series of cognitive tests. Memory, problem-solving, language, followed by a physical exam and blood work for the drug screening. This will take approximately 2 hours. Derek tried to stay in the room. I'm her conservator, I should be present. No, Dr. Martinez said firmly. The evaluation must be conducted without outside influence. You'll wait in the hall. Derek had no choice. He left. I stayed. As Mom's daughter, I was allowed. Dr. Martinez started with basic questions. Mrs. Bennett, can you tell me today's date? October 22nd, 2024. Who is the current president? Joe Biden. Mom paused, though the election's coming up next month. Very good. Can you tell me where you are right now? Sunrise Memory Care, Phoenix, Arizona, a place I shouldn't be. Dr. Martinez raised an eyebrow, noted that. She moved to memory tests, lists of words. Mom repeated them perfectly, backwards and forwards, math problems. Mom solved them easily. Count backwards from 100 by sevens. 100, 93, 86, 79. Mom didn't miss a single one. Dr. Martinez showed Mom a series of images, asked her to remember them. 15 minutes later, asked Mom to recall the images. Mom remembered every single one. 2 hours of testing. Mom passed everything, not just passed, excelled. Dr. Martinez's expression remained neutral, professional. But I could see it, the surprise. Mrs. Bennett, I'm going to draw some blood now for the drug screening. Mom extended her arm. Please check for everything. I want to know what my son's been giving me. Dr. Martinez drew several vials, labeled them carefully. Results will take a few days. I'll compile my report and submit it to the court. After she left, I sat with Mom. You did amazing. I told you I'm not sick. I never was. Derek was waiting outside, pacing. When Dr. Martinez emerged, he tried to talk to her. How did she do? What were the results? I can't discuss that with you. My report will go to the judge. I'm her conservator. The evaluation was court-ordered. You'll receive the findings when the court releases them. Derek's face reddened, but he couldn't argue. 3 days later, Natalie called. We have the results, and your mother's cognitive function is completely normal. No signs of dementia, no memory impairment. Dr. Martinez's official conclusion. Catherine Bennett does not have Alzheimer's disease or any form of cognitive decline. I wanted to cry, to scream, to celebrate. What about the drug screening? That's where it gets interesting. Your mother tested positive for 3 medications: lorazepam, risperidone, and Ambien. What are those? Lorazepam is a benzodiazepine, anti-anxiety medication. Causes sedation, confusion, memory problems. Risperidone is an antipsychotic, used for schizophrenia and severe mental illness. Causes cognitive dulling. And Ambien is a sleep medication. All 3 together, they'd make anyone seem demented. Oh my God. None of these medications were prescribed by Dr. Pearson. None are standard Alzheimer's treatments, which means Derek was giving them to her off-label, deliberately, to induce symptoms of dementia. That's criminal. That's elder abuse, medical fraud, and possibly attempted murder depending on the dosages. What happens now? Emergency hearing tomorrow. Judge Rivera will review the findings. I'm filing a motion to immediately terminate the conservatorship and grant you emergency guardianship. Will it work? With this evidence? Absolutely. October 28, 2024. Back in Judge Rivera's courtroom. This time the atmosphere was different, tense, hostile. Derek sat with his lawyer. He knew what was coming. Judge Rivera entered. We all stood. I've reviewed Dr. Martinez's report. Her findings are extremely concerning. She looked directly at Derek. Mr. Bennett, your mother does not have Alzheimer's disease. She never did. Yet she was placed in memory care, stripped of her autonomy, and subjected to powerful psychiatric medications. Medications that were not prescribed by her physician. Can you explain this? Derek stood. Your Honor, I was acting on Dr. Pearson's recommendations. Dr. Pearson never prescribed lorazepam, risperidone, or Ambien to your mother. Where did those medications come from? Derek's lawyer jumped in. Your Honor, we'd like to request a continuance to investigate. No, answer the question, Mr. Bennett. Where did you obtain these medications? Derek was sweating. I don't know. Maybe the facility was giving them to her. The facility has provided their medication records. They administered only what was prescribed. Blood pressure medication, vitamins, nothing else. These drugs came from you. Silence. Your Honor, Natalie stood. We have audio recordings of Mr. Bennett personally administering medication to his mother, against her will, while she explicitly protested. Natalie played the recording, Derek's voice. Telling Mom to take her pills, Mom refusing, Derek coercing her. Judge Rivera's face hardened. Mr. Bennett, you drugged your mother. You faked a medical condition to gain control of her finances. And you've been systematically stealing from her estate. This is elder abuse. This is fraud. This is criminal. Your Honor, I can explain. You'll explain to the police. Bailiff, take Mr. Bennett into custody. 2 officers moved toward Derek. His lawyer tried to protest. Your Honor, my client hasn't been charged with a crime. He will be. I'm issuing a warrant for his arrest. Charges include elder abuse, fraud, theft, and unlawful administration of controlled substances. The officers handcuffed Derek. He looked at me, rage in his eyes. This is your fault. You couldn't just let me handle things. You were killing her, I said quietly. Our mother, and you were killing her for money." They led him away. Judge Rivera turned to me. "Miss Bennett, I'm granting you emergency guardianship of your mother. The conservatorship is dissolved effective immediately. You'll have full control of her medical decisions and finances." "Thank you, Your Honor. I'm also ordering a full audit of her estate. Every transaction your brother made will be reviewed. Any misappropriated funds will be recovered and returned." "What about Dr. Pearson? He diagnosed her with Alzheimer's. He had to know it was fake." "I'm ordering an investigation into Dr. Pearson as well. If he colluded with your brother, he'll face charges too." The hearing ended. I sat there, stunned, relieved, victorious. Natalie put a hand on my shoulder. "You did it. You saved your mother. Can I see her? Can I tell her? She's your mother. You can do whatever you want." I drove to Sunrise Memory Care, went straight to Mom's room. She was sitting in a chair, reading a book, clear-eyed, alert. "Mom." She looked up, smiled, a real smile. "Becca, what happened? Tell me everything." "Derek's been arrested. The conservatorship is over. You're free." Mom dropped her book, started crying. "Really? It's over? It's over. You're coming home." We hugged, both of us crying, 5 months of hell finally ending. I checked Mom out of Sunrise Memory Care that afternoon, packed her belongings, signed discharge papers, walked her out into the Phoenix sunshine. "Where do I go?" Mom asked. "Derek sold my house. You're coming with me to San Diego until we figure everything out." "I can't impose." "You're not imposing. You're my mother. And you're staying with me?" We drove to San Diego that evening. Mom slept most of the way, exhausted, traumatized, but free. Over the next few weeks, Mom recovered, physically and mentally. The fog cleared completely, no more sedatives. No more antipsychotics, no more drugs dulling her mind. She was sharp again, funny, engaged with life. "I feel like I've been asleep for 5 months, like a horrible nightmare." It was real. But it's over now. The financial audit came back in early November. Derek had stolen over $375,000 from Mom's estate. Cash withdrawals, transfers to his accounts, purchases made with Mom's credit cards, the Tesla, designer clothes, a vacation to Hawaii, all on Mom's money. The district attorney filed criminal charges, multiple felonies, elder abuse, financial exploitation, fraud, unlawful prescription of medication. Derek's bail was set at $500,000. He couldn't make it, stayed in jail awaiting trial. The investigation into Dr. Pearson revealed his involvement. Derek had been paying him $5,000 a month in exchange for the fake diagnosis. For prescribing medications Derek could use to sedate Mom, for medical records supporting the conservatorship. Dr. Pearson lost his medical license, was charged with conspiracy to commit fraud and medical malpractice. Both men were looking at serious prison time. Mom's assets were frozen pending the criminal trial. But Natalie filed civil suits to recover the stolen money. "We'll get most of it back." Derek spent some, but the majority is still traceable. In December 2024, Derek's trial began. Mom testified, told the jury what Derek had done, how he'd drugged her, stolen from her, imprisoned her. I testified about discovering the truth, about the recordings, about Derek's lies. Dr. Martinez testified, explained the medications Derek had used, how they would mimic dementia symptoms. The prosecution presented financial records, showing Derek's theft. Derek's defense was weak, claimed he'd made mistakes, that he'd been trying to help Mom, that he'd never intended to harm her. The jury didn't buy it. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing in February 2025. Derek got 15 years in prison, no parole eligibility for 6 years. Dr. Pearson got 8 years. Both men were ordered to pay restitution. Every penny they'd stolen, plus damages. Mom got her money back, not all of it. Derek had spent about $75,000, but the rest was recovered. Her estate was restored, her autonomy returned, her dignity intact. During the trial, something unexpected happened. Dr. Pearson, facing his own prosecution, decided to cooperate. His lawyer arranged a meeting. Me, Mom, Natalie, and the district attorney in a conference room at the DA's office. Dr. Pearson sat across from us, 63 years old, gray hair, defeated expression. "I want to apologize," he said, looking at Mom. "What I did was unconscionable. I violated my oath. I harmed a patient for money." Mom said nothing, just stared at him. How did it start? The DA asked. Dr. Pearson sighed. Derek came to me in January, said his mother was showing signs of cognitive decline. Asked me to evaluate her. I did. She was completely fine, normal cognitive function for her age. And you told Derek that? Yes, I said she had no signs of dementia or Alzheimer's. That she was healthy? What did Derek say? He asked if there was any way I could adjust my diagnosis. Said he was worried about his mother's finances, that she was making poor decisions, that she needed protection. And you agreed? Not immediately, but Derek was persistent. He offered me money, $5,000 a month. I was in debt, gambling debts, bad investments. I needed the money. So you lied in your medical assessment? Yes. I wrote a diagnosis of early-stage Alzheimer's, recommended memory care, supported Derek's petition for conservatorship. Did you prescribe the medications Derek used to sedate Mrs. Bennett? Some of them. I wrote prescriptions for lorazepam and risperidone, told Derek they were to help with anxiety and agitation, but I knew what he was really using them for. Mom finally spoke. You knew he was drugging me, making me seem incompetent, and you helped him. Yes, I'm sorry. I know that doesn't fix anything, but I am truly sorry. Why are you confessing now? Natalie asked. Because I can't live with what I've done, and because I want to help put Derek away. He's the one who orchestrated this. He came to me with the plan. I just went along with it. The DA nodded. Your cooperation will be noted in your sentencing, but you understand you're still facing prison time. I understand. I deserve it. The meeting ended. Dr. Pearson was led away. Mom was quiet on the drive home. You okay? I asked. I don't know. Part of me wants to feel sorry for him. He seemed genuinely remorseful. He destroyed your life for $5,000 a month. I know. And he deserves to be punished. But at least he owned it. Derek never did, never admitted what he did was wrong. She was right. During the entire trial, Derek maintained he'd been trying to help Mom. That everything he'd done was in her best interest. Even when confronted with evidence of theft, he claimed he'd been managing Mom's money, making investments, planning for her future. The delusion was complete. In addition to the criminal case, Natalie filed civil lawsuits against Derek, Dr. Pearson, and Sunrise Memory Care. The facility had a duty to protect your mother. They should have noticed she was being improperly medicated. Should have questioned the diagnosis. They failed. The suit against Sunrise was settled out of court. $150,000, not a huge amount, but it sent a message. Facilities can't just accept conservators at face value. They have obligations to the residents in their care. The suit against Derek was more complicated. He had no assets. Everything he'd bought with Mom's money had been seized and sold to pay restitution. But the judgment stood. If Derek ever made money again after prison, it would go to Mom. Dr. Pearson's assets were also seized. His house, his retirement accounts, everything went to pay damages. By March 2025, Mom had recovered almost all of her money, about $750,000 of the original $800,000. The missing $50,000 was gone forever, spent on Derek's lifestyle. But Mom was philosophical about it. Money can be replaced, my mind, my dignity, my freedom, those can't. I got those back, that's what matters. She was right. Mom lived with me in San Diego for 6 months. January through June 2025. We used that time to heal, to rebuild our relationship, to process the trauma. Mom saw a therapist, specialized in elder abuse survivors, worked through the betrayal, the gaslighting, the fear. The worst part wasn't the drugs, Mom told me one evening. It was the doubt. There were moments when I believed Derek, when I thought maybe I was sick, maybe I was losing my mind. That's what gaslighting does. It makes you question your own reality. But you didn't give in, you kept fighting. Because of you, because I knew if I could just hang on until you figured it out, I'd be okay. In April 2025, Mom decided she wanted to go back to Phoenix. San Diego is lovely, but it's not home. I want to rebuild my life in Phoenix, where my friends are, where I belong. I understood, helped her find a new place, a nice condo in Scottsdale, safe, secure, her own space. She moved in May 2025. Started rebuilding, rejoined her book club, started volunteering again, reconnected with friends who'd lost touch during her illness. Where were you? They asked. We tried to visit. Derek said you weren't accepting visitors. Derek lied about a lot of things. Word spread about what Derek had done, the drugging, the theft, the fraud. The community was horrified, supportive. If you need anything, Catherine, anything at all, Mom rebuilt her life better than before. Stronger. In June 2025, she did something unexpected. Started a support group for elder abuse survivors. I'm not the only one this has happened to. There are others. People whose families have betrayed them, stolen from them. They need support, community. The group met weekly, 10 people at first, then 20, then 30. Stories of adult children stealing from parents, spouses exploiting dementia patients, caregivers abusing vulnerable seniors. Elder abuse was everywhere, hidden, ignored. Mom's group brought it into the light. She also started speaking at community centers, senior centers, educating people about the warning signs. If a family member suddenly insists you have a medical condition you've never heard of, get a second opinion. If someone tries to isolate you from other family members, that's a red flag. If your finances are being controlled and you can't access your own accounts, that's theft. People listened, shared her story. Mom became an advocate. Something good has to come from this, she told me. I suffered. But maybe my suffering can help someone else avoid the same fate. Derek's 15-year sentence was upheld on appeal. He's currently in Arizona State Prison. Won't be eligible for parole until 2031. I haven't visited him, haven't spoken to him, have no plans to. Mom visited him once, in July 2025. Why? I asked. After everything he did, because he's still my son. And I needed to say something to him. What did you say? I told him I forgive him, not because he deserves it, but because I don't want to carry hatred for the next 20 years. I forgive him so I can move on. Did he apologize? No, he's still convinced he was trying to help me, that I'm ungrateful, that you poisoned me against him. Unbelievable. That's Derek, always the victim. Never accountable. Mom hasn't visited him since, doesn't plan to, but she has peace about it. Dr. Pearson, on the other hand, wrote Mom a letter from prison, a real apology, detailed, remorseful. I think about what I did every day, the harm I caused, the trust I betrayed. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But I want you to know that I'm truly sorry. And I hope you're able to rebuild your life and find happiness. Mom wrote back, a short note. I appreciate your apology. I hope you use your time in prison to become a better person. She didn't forgive him, but she acknowledged his remorse. It's more than Derek ever gave me. As for me, I've changed too. I left my job in Child Protective Services, burned out, exhausted, started working in elder advocacy instead, helping seniors navigate conservatorships, investigating abuse allegations, protecting vulnerable people. You found your calling, Mom said. You inspired me. If you could fight back from being drugged and imprisoned, I can fight for others in the same situation. Mom and I are closer than ever. We talk every day, visit each other monthly. She's thriving, happy, living life on her terms. Recently, she started dating a man from her book club, retired teacher. Kind, respectful. I thought I'd never trust anyone again, Mom said. But Richard is different. He treats me like an equal, respects my boundaries. It's nice. I'm happy for her. She deserves happiness, deserves to live without fear. It's October 2027 now. 3 years since I walked into Sunrise Memory Care and discovered my mother was being drugged. Mom is 71, still sharp, still active, still advocating for elder abuse survivors. Her support group has grown, over 100 members across Arizona. She's been featured in news stories, given interviews, raised awareness. Legislation has been introduced in Arizona, stricter oversight of conservatorships, mandatory independent medical evaluations, regular audits of conserved estates. It's called Catherine's Law, named after my mother. She testified before the state legislature, told her story. Lawmakers listened. The bill passed, signed into law in March 2027. You're making a difference, Mom. We're making a difference. You, me, all the survivors who have spoken up. This is bigger than us now. Derek is still in prison, will be for years. I don't think about him much anymore. He's irrelevant. Dr. Pearson was released on parole in August 2027 after serving 2 years. His medical license is permanently revoked. He works at a pharmacy now, stocking shelves. Mom ran into him once, at a grocery store. He saw me, looked like he wanted to say something, but he didn't, just walked away. I think he's ashamed. Good, he should be. As for me, I'm still an elder advocacy director of a nonprofit now. We investigate abuse allegations, provide legal support, connect seniors with resources. It's hard work, heartbreaking sometimes, but necessary. And every time I help someone, I think of Mom, of what she survived, of the strength it took to fight back. I'm not married, no kids, but I have a life I'm proud of, work that matters, a relationship with my mother that's unbreakable. That's enough. Looking back on everything, I've learned some crucial lessons about elder abuse and conservatorship fraud. First, trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, investigate. Don't assume family members have good intentions. Don't blindly trust medical professionals. Ask questions, demand answers. Second, elder abuse is common. More common than anyone wants to admit. Financial exploitation, medical abuse, emotional manipulation. It happens in every community, every economic class, every family. Third, conservatorships can be weaponized. They're meant to protect vulnerable people, but they can be used to control, to steal, to abuse. Oversight is minimal, accountability is rare. Fourth, documentation is everything. Record conversations, take notes, keep receipts. If you suspect abuse, gather evidence. You'll need it to fight back. Fifth, victims need advocates. Seniors in abusive situations often can't advocate for themselves. They're isolated, controlled. They need someone willing to fight for them. And finally, justice is possible. It's hard, it's slow, it's expensive, but it's possible. Mom got justice, got her life back, got to age with dignity. Not everyone does, but everyone deserves to. I'm Rebecca Bennett. I'm 36 years old. I'm an elder abuse advocate in San Diego, and I saved my mother from being drugged into oblivion by her own son. If you suspect someone you love is being abused financially, medically, emotionally, don't wait. Don't assume others will handle it. Act, get a lawyer, document everything. Fight, because your loved one is counting on you. Just like my mother counted on me. If this story resonated with you, please like and subscribe. Share it with someone who works with seniors, someone who might see the warning signs, someone who can help. Elder abuse thrives in silence. Let's break that silence. Trust your instincts, investigate suspicions, protect the vulnerable. Until next time.